How are you feeling? You got John Riggs here with the AtGames Legends Ultimate Arcade. I love this thing, still play it all the time. I've done a couple of videos on it in the past, just like an unboxing, a quick overview, and even how to get some of your other games working on this machine. But even still, it comes equipped and default with a ton of games already built into it. And maybe you're thinking, that's cool and all, but do you need all the features? Do you need all the functions? Maybe you just need something just to play some arcade games at home, you know? There's a lot of options for at-home arcades. This one, in my personal opinion, one of the best for several reasons. And they just made a new solution, so if you still need one of these, but you don't need like all the bells and whistles, you just need something for yourself, really. That's where this thing comes in. Ooh. That was a little bit too hard. Did I scuff the wall again? Well, I think we'll be okay. I'm not getting my deposit back anyway. This here is the Legends Ultimate Mini. It features a lot of the same functionality, but maybe not as much stuff. Just exactly what you need only. We're gonna put this thing together and check it out for ourselves. And in full disclosure, AtGames did send me this for the purpose of this video. Only problem is, I don't wanna set it up. You have to set it up for me. How? The first thing you gotta do is hit that like button in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, not bad. Okay. Not bad, but we still have to construct it too. Fortunately, it's not a whole lot to construct. Got to build the base, the screen and all that, it's already done, really. But now you got, what is this? Good lord, I gotta cut my hair. This is an awkward position or what? Well, the good news is, this is probably the base, and this is a couple of parts, but most of it's already built for you, which is really, really nice. Got the screen down here, this part will go up there a little bit. I mean, it's not bad, but, you know, this guy down here, it's just, you just got to put the rest of it together, you know, like the joystick, and I mean the screen's already here and all that. You just got to plug everything together and kind of, you know, put up the stand and all that too. And I think we can do that together. Have you put your favorite arcade game down in the comments? Put your favorite arcade game down in the comments. It helps me out. This thing comes equipped with a bunch of great arcade games already, and more too. You'll see that in a second. But first, let's put this together. A little more YouTube magic. Have you hit subscribe yet? Do that. Ready? 3, 2, 1. No, it didn't work. Let's hit the like button one more time. If you already hit like, hit it again. See what happens. 3, 2, 1. There it is. Nicely done, as you can see, and it's a slight bit minier than the traditional one, but it's nice that the keyboard is the same size. Whether it's this size or this size, that's going to be exactly the same. I like that about this. Now, the other thing you'll notice, as this is just the joystick, the 6 buttons, as well as the rewind feature, I'm guessing this is the menu button, and then your player 1 button, of course, as well as your power button. Versus the Starship Enterprise, which has 2 joysticks, 2 6 buttons, the little spin dial things, you know, other stuff too. But again, if you don't need all that, that's going to be perfect. And all those other games too, you can just use the joystick, I'm sure. Powering them both on right now. And you'll notice something else right off the front of everything. And it's looking at you right in the face. And do you even know what it is yet? Well, the displays will be slightly different because this one is like, you know, standard issue, while this one has the vertical screen, which I love for classic arcade games. I gotta have the vertical screen. However, one of the great features on this is you can go that size with this thing here. And there's a couple little screws in each corner. When the screws are removed, you can actually remove this little panel here, put that somewhere safe. You just kind of remove the screen like such, and there you go. Just turn it counterclockwise. They'll fit right back in there. And then when you turn it on, it'll be size corrected. Now, if I did it right now, it'll stay like that, you know? It'll like stay sideways. But if you want to have that, you know, like between landscape or portrait, you want to have landscape mode, well, here you go. This is the one that you're familiar with. It's the same one as the proper one here. But I'm all about that arcade life, so I'm going to put it the way it was. You can, like I said, and I'll show you just what happens. This is a square, just like me. And you're like, I didn't do it automatically. Yeah, just turn it off. Turn it back on. It'll correct itself just like that. But make sure you have this on at all times. Keep everything safe. On one hand, sure, I wish it was a little bit more convenient than all this, but it's not so bad. I mean, at least you have the option, right? So it's an Etch-a-Sketch. Here we go. Speaking of options, it has some great options here, like it has Aladdin. I see, man, you know, page after page. Comes equipped with Bubble Bobble, Burger Time. These are all default. I didn't download anything onto this machine yet. City Connections on here as well. Crazy Balloon, I just talked about that in a recent video. Anything stand out to you? Anything you recognize? Make sure you call it out in the comments for sure. Not just Elevator Action, but Elevator Action Returns. Fantastic. Heavy Barrel, that's a great one. Kiki Kai Kai, what a fun one there. Lion King. Oh, all the frustration from the double jump. Yeah, again, these are default, so you're not only going to get some great arcade games, but you're also going to get a few, you know, like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis games in here too. Kick's one of my favorites. You have games like Tron, which are playable. A little awkward with the joystick and everything, if you remember Tron from the arcade, but it still does get the job done. Then finally, Zookeeper, another one of my favorites. So yeah, a lot of great games default on this already. And if you go to the top here, I got a few other options too. I still haven't even signed in yet, so I got to do that. And then I got to connect it to the internet too. That's where you're going to get your firmware updates and whatnot. They're constantly running like high score contests and stuff like that too, so you can play along with everyone else. Another huge hypothetical. It has a ton of games it already comes with, even more games in the arcade net and all that once you sign in. But maybe there's a game you really want. Maybe there's an old arcade game or even like a console game that you really want to play on something like this, but you don't have access to it. Well, there is a USB drive up here, and that's where this USB drive come in handy. When you see that little icon in the corner, it means it's thinking. When it stops flashing, it means it's done, which means you can go over to BYOG, which stands for Bring Your Own Game, click the add-on button, and you have to promise not to tell anyone this, because this is like the super secret stuff here. Now again, I should put it to landscape mode outside of portrait mode, but even if it's in portrait mode, it'll still play. It's not showing up very well for you, but shows up fine for me. Again, this game would be better in landscape mode, not portrait mode, but you know, you get, if you don't want to flip it around, it'll work just fine just like this too, no problem at all. When you're done, you just hit the little menu button here, you can back out. You can also save your game if you'd like. I didn't mean to do that. Rewind. Just to where you want to go. There we go. Another great feature about this is in the App Store X, you can actually, and you'll see on the side here is one of the things that you built, it actually has pinball buttons on both sides, which is wonderful because then it turns this arcade machine into a vertical pinball machine. Now, I believe it's probably just the same operating system as the AtGames pinball machine that also exists. However, if the orientation is fine for you and you don't mind playing pinball like this, that's might be a great thing for you, especially if you don't have room for a pinball machine. You know, something like this would work. Now, I can't access this. I'm not signed in, nor do I have a USB drive. What is it? Whatever it says here. We have a ton of pinball available here. Yeah, I don't have a USB drive with Flash Drive X. Soon as I do, though, I'm going to look up some videos on my own on YouTube, and there's a couple of them out there that show you how to do this. You can play pinball on your Legends Ultimate Mini for sure. I gotta do that for myself. And just like the other one as well, it gives you the options if you want to just see just the arcade games, or just the Genesis games, or just the, it says other, which is basically your Nintendo and Super Nintendo and whatnot too. But a lot of options on this thing for sure to keep you playing, keep you going. You'll see plenty of 2-player games on here, only one set of controls. However, you can plug in a USB controller, or even like I think Bluetooth is available as well. But we've always just used we've always just used the USB controller. Neat system for sure. So the Legends Ultimate Mini, I think it's a great build. I think it's a great machine, and I don't mind the fact that it's a little bit smaller on both sides, because it means that you have more room. Now this guy, of course, the Ultimate, the 2 joysticks and all that, yeah, I like it more just because it has the other features like the trackball and all that, and the 2 controllers, for 2-player games and stuff like that. But it does take up a lot of room. So if you don't have the room for something like this, you might have the room for something like this, which I think is a great option to have at your disposal. And there's some benefits to have something like this. I like how you can rotate the screen and all that for like the vertical mode. And this one, this one does now have the pinball buttons on the side, but when I got it, that wasn't an option at the time. I'll leave links in the description below if you'd like to grab one of these for yourself. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again real soon.